I'd like to welcome you to Policy Matters with Nathaniel Provencio, who is a principal at Minnieville Elementary in Prince William County. So a big honor has been bestowed to you from the Washington Post, named Principal of the Year. Could you talk a little bit about what that award means to you?
Sure. It's a real big shout out to the Washington Post, recognizing the work that we've done at our school, and it's really just a big honor to be a part of what our school is doing.
So obviously that honor was bestowed to you, but there's so many people working every single day to make sure that Minnieville runs smoothly and effectively. What can you say about the people on the ground level that make this school such a great place to work?
Minnieville is a highly diverse school, both economically and cultural and linguistic. So out of approximately 500 students, 80% of our students qualify for free and reduced lunch, which means we are significantly economically disadvantaged. That's our population. Right. And of those 500 students, approximately 60% speak another language. So not only are we dealing with cultural and language linguistics diversity, but also economic diversity as well. So when on the outside, a lot of people that might see our school as a Title I school, with the obstacles that we have shouldn't be succeeding. We should be a failing school from what we have. However, we see our diversity not as an obstacle, but as a gift. And that gift of diversity has allowed us to grow tremendously as a school. We have amazing parents, we have amazing staff, and our kids are absolutely just phenomenal.
So one of the ways that I know that you activate learning in Minnieville is through PLCs, professional learning communities. Can you talk a little bit about the way you think about PLCs and how you've worked to enact them well at Minnieville?
Sure. One thing PLC framework is not, it's just a bunch of teachers meeting. Okay. So there is, it's so much more than just a grade level talking about what they're going to do tomorrow. It is an entire culture that we have, and we make sure that it's seamless, so that what the kindergarten is talking about, what kindergarten level is talking about, is very similar to what the fifth grade is talking about. So we have standards along the way. Everybody's on the same page. There's no one has to guess about what's happening. So we make sure from the top down that we're very crystal clear and we're very laser focused on what those students have to do. So the plan is already laid out from the start of the year, and then we monitor that instructional plan throughout the year to make sure the kids know what they need to do. And then we're not afraid of assessments. I know that's a big deal about testing, over-testing, but we use our assessments to validate our instructional efforts and validate the student learning. And we have some qualitative-based assessments and we have some quantitative-based assessments. But we want to make sure that student growth is always at the forefront of what we're doing, not just a proficiency score, but a growth score. So we make sure that we're very strategic with how we plan with our standards. We make sure that we always have that end in mind. What do we want the students to be able to do at the end of this unit? And then we collaboratively share our ideas and our strategies and our activities and our resources and our trade books, so that there's no one's teaching in isolation. And if teacher A needs some help with a unit, teacher B is going to step up and say, yeah, I'll take those students to do some remediation. I have a great enrichment opportunity that I can do with your students. And then it's reciprocal. So everybody holds each other accountable. It makes sure the students grow. The parents are absolutely in love with it because they know that when they send their child to our school, they're not grateful that they have a teacher. They're grateful that they have a school. And they know that there's going to be a whole village in our Minnieville that's going to take care of their kids. To us, that's the culture of a professional learning community.
So what's one way that state level policy really enables what you're able to do at Minnieville? And what's one way that what's going on at the state level really forces you to think creatively about how to get things done in your school?
Well, I wish state policy was consistent. So one of the things that we know is that in our division, our division in Prince William County gives us a lot of flexibility to be able to do what's right for kids. Now, we still have our standards and we still have our state mandates, and we're going to take care of those mandates. But as a staff, we kind of changes the name of the game. And we have to be flexible, because if we're not flexible, we're going to be bent out of shape, right? So regardless of what happens at the state level, we know that the division is going to support us as a school, support all of our schools. And we're going to do what we need to do to make sure that our kids are performing and exceeding. Now, we were at a point where we weren't succeeding as a school. We were at a point where we were considered a focus school, where our state scores, and we call it AYP, or adequate yearly progress, was not where it needed to be. It was like in 2011 when I first came in. So, there were some stipulations and some frameworks that from the state that we had to make sure that we were adhering to, and we were adhering to them. We just didn't have the time to see those come to fruition. But that level of accountability helped us refine our practices, helped us refine some of our strategies and our frameworks to get us to where we are now. So yes, there's accountability, but we use that as an opportunity to help us grow as a school.
We hear it a lot today that we're moving away from federal control with more autonomy moving back down to the states and also to districts. How have you witnessed that transfer of power at the ground level? What does that look like, and what does it mean for a school like Minnieville?
So once again, it's important for schools, if this is going to happen, which is the dice cast at some point. But even in our own division, sometimes we lose sight of, we're throwing so much money into schools, or why do we need to have such an enlarged division, school division? Where's this money coming through? So I understand that, but at the end of the day, we're using our success at Minnieville, like I said earlier, to open up our doors to the community, and all of our teachers and our parents are ambassadors for not only our school but for the public education in Prince William County. So we make sure that our teachers are celebrating that success, reaching out to businesses and say, hey, listen, come help out at Minnieville. Donate some time, donate some money, and because these are your customers that you're trying to reach. And so businesses have come on board and helped us, and then they're celebrating our school. And then we're, local politicians and local representatives are coming into our school and seeing how great schools can be. Now, every school's got some challenges. We understand that. But when it's time to make a vote to raise that real estate tax to help schools, we're hoping that people are seeing schools as a benefit to the entire community. One of the great things that's been happening at Minnieville is it's in a very economically diverse area. But as our school has continued to grow with our scores, real estate values have slowly started to increase, which is great for the entire community. So I see a direct correlation. A great school means a great community, means people are interested in investing in their community, and it's going to raise everybody up. So we see our school not just raising scores, but bringing up entire communities, and that improves the quality of life not only for Del City, our area, but also for Prince William County. So going back to your question about more control going to the local level, we have to celebrate our schools, and we have to realize that your neighborhood is a direct reflection of your school and vice versa. And I think schools have an obligation, especially public schools have an obligation to celebrate what good is happening. So.
Nathaniel, congratulations for the honor from the Washington Post. It really is something that you should be proud of. And thanks so much for taking the time out to talk about the great work being done at Minnieville.
Thank you very much.